Now, Deutsche Bank has come up with the report which we discussed in the earlier video, saying that if India is able to become a knowledge economy by 2020, then it would be fourth largest economy in the world, right? Now, if we are able to utilize the entire population, the 1 billion population, and turn our economy into a very high growing knowledge economy, just like the way Ireland did, then we would be actually the first or the second economy in terms of rank when it comes to comparison among the world economies. Now let us see what are the government efforts when it comes to transforming the human capital in country. So as of now, the government expenditure is very high on elementary education. Okay, so the major share of total expenditure which is done, okay, that is more on elementary education, because we are trying to cover as many children as we can. Comparatively, the expenditure per student in tertiary education is high, because as the education rises, the cost also increases, and hence the expenditure is high in the tertiary education era. Now, when it comes to per capita income, per capita expenses, I would say here on the elementary education, this differs from state to state. So we have 17,000 in Himachal Pradesh, whereas in Bihar it is only 3,600. Now, it was being said that 6% is what should be, as per the committee report, the research which was done by the committee, it was being told that 6% should be what we should be spending, 6% of the GDP we should be spending on education. We have been able to spend only 4%, okay, as of now. Now remember, when it comes to the total expenditure which the government incurs, we are being able to spend somewhere between 7 to 10% of the total expenditure on education. What are the initiatives which the government has taken? See, first thing, they brought in this Right to Education Act. What was this act? The act gave the right to the children in the age group of 6 to 14 to go ahead and take the school education which is required or for which they are eligible. Okay, so the right was given to every child in the country of educating himself or herself. Okay, now you would have seen in the income tax returns, or if not, then you can see the returns filed by your parents that they have to pay a 2% education cess. Now this 2% education cess was levied across all the union taxes. Okay, what was this? Whatever revenue comes from here, this revenue is spent on elementary education. So this is basically on ensuring that the children get the basic elementary education. Now, there has been large outlay on promoting higher education. So a lot of capital has been invested in promoting higher education by the government. Government has in fact established various kind of institutions which facilitate such kind of education, that is your NCRT, UGC, AIC, AICTE, etc. So these are the initiatives taken by the government. Now what has been the achievement so far of the government? See, the adult literacy rate, if you remember the time of independence, it was just 16%. Now it became 61% in 1990, and now we are approximately somewhere close to 76.7%. Okay, for females this ratio has come to 54.9%. Now don't get confused when I was telling you that the literacy rate in India is 74%. See that there is a difference between adult literacy rate and the total literacy rate as such. So don't get confused that how come this is 76.7%. Now the primary completion rate, that is the people who are able to complete the primary education, now this is as high as 96% as of now, and 95% for females compared to 78% or 61% earlier. Okay, now this I am giving you 2010 figures. These figures have improved much better in the last 6-7 years. The youth literacy rate, okay, when we speak about the youth as such, then the literacy rate is 88% for the males and 74% for females. So no doubt the capital invested by the government has started showing the colors, the success colors we are being able to see because of the capital which was invested from the 7th 5-year plan, from which the human capital formation was emphasized by the government. From that time till now, we have seen a considerable growth in terms of education. What are the future prospects for the country like India? See, first thing, the government's plan for education for all. So, the right to education gives free and compulsory education to children up to 14. Gender equality, wherein treating men and women equal on the education platform and ensuring equal opportunities are made available to women, because even they are important part of the economy, and they also will, if women gets educated, there is economic independence, okay, and there is a favorable impact on the fertility rate as such, and also the children who come into world, they also have a favorable impact in the sense they are being nurtured by an educated mother. So the difference obviously is there, and hence gender equality is emphasized. Now higher education, when it comes to higher education, currently how the pyramid is, it is a steep pyramid. Remember, as and when things start moving and you have to reach the pinnacle, the number of people who drop out would be very high. So you would have seen there is a large base of primary people who are getting primary education, but then the number of people who are graduate, postgraduate, or even a PhD, those numbers keep decreasing. Okay. Now, in terms of steep pyramid, the government is emphasizing by giving opportunities, improving their knowledge about the importance of getting those higher levels of education. The government is making efforts for ensuring that this steep pyramid doesn't happen very often, and more people are going for higher education. Now, in terms of educated unemployment, just to give you a brief, there are 19% of graduates in rural India who are unemployed and 16% in urban areas. So this is a cause of concern which needs to be looked into. Now, as of females, for females, 30% female graduates are unemployed in the country. So when it comes to future prospects, the government will have to work on these parameters, and it has done good work in terms of ensuring compulsory education and gender equality, but then there is a long way to go when it comes to transforming Indian economy into knowledge economy.